First one of these in the new space. I really, it's very comfortable in here. Today is Thursday or Tuesday, and I don't drink blood or wine or mead from the skulls of my enemies, but I do drink coffee. So, that's an option. I'm just saying, like, if you want to write a modern Viking tale, I drink espresso from the skulls of my enemies. That's vanilla. That's really good.
Ouch.
But I figured since today is Tyr's Day, I would talk about the god Tyr, because of all of the pantheon of the gods, Tyr was the first one I dedicated myself to. Holy smoke, that's good. That is good. Wow. So, before I even get into Tyr, I'm tearing up. It's an inside joke. I damaged my eye in 2007. The left one, it's not my non-dominant. And it's never been right, and occasionally it tears itself open. The cell tissue in the cornea tears itself free, and I have to have a contact lens put on it. It hurts like a bastard. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm back to stuff. So right now, it's a little uncomfortable. It's more comfortable to keep one eye closed, but it's not Woden's Day. That's tomorrow. So why would we do that? Because it's uncomfortable as hell. So you're going to have to forgive me as I blink a lot when I talk about this, because that is the way to go. I got this hippie BioTrue eye drop. There we go. It's a fantastic video. We like watching put in eye drops. Well, it's a terrible sensation. And it makes me think of a few tattoo artists that I'm a fan of. And one of them is Guy Aitchison. And he was a big name back in the 90s and early 2000s. He's still a big deal. I mean, he's contributed a lot to tattooing. But at the Paradise Tattoo Gathering in 2009, he was on a board of, that's a little bit better. He was on a board of tattoo artists who were answering questions, and he was one of the main presenters. And someone asked how he made his tattoos look so three-dimensional. And he said, I actually just work off of photos from my fish tank of coral reef type stuff, and I apply that. They're like, but how do you get it to look that way? And he goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. He goes, I don't see depth because one of my eyes is dead. It doesn't see anything. I only can see out of one eye. And I think a lot of the audience was kind of shocked because I think a lot of us didn't know that about him. Fascinating stuff. So, and the reason why I mention it is because in heathen belief systems and pagan belief systems of Europe, oftentimes you give up an ability and you gain a strength. So Aitchison had not had one eye, so he couldn't do depth, which gave him the strength to deconstruct it and do depth. How's that for crazy? Tyr is a great fighter. He's a war god. He's a god of justice. And he has to do with honesty. So it's very important stuff. When I got Tiwaz branded into my solar plexus in 97, it was as a dedication to truth and justice and this god. It's a very interesting thing because Tyr didn't get the way he is by being honest. He lied, and that's what cost him his hand. He did it for the greater good, but it's still a lie. They bound Fenrir, and made it a game, and then they got some chain that they knew Fenrir couldn't break, and Fenrir was dubious of this whole adventure and said, I don't think I want to do that. And Tyr said, look, I'll put my hand in your mouth, and if I'm lying, you can bite my hand off. I don't know if you know, but it worked out a certain way, and he only has one hand. He fights with a deer antler. I was actually working on a piece connected to Tyr yesterday on a friend. And in his hand, he has, it looks like a flail kind of, but it's a deer antler. And that's what he's left to fight with. He can't fight with a sword. He's missing his hand. He's connected to justice. He's connected to war, but not like Odin. They're all different. I let people overgeneralize and oversimplify, but Tyr, god of justice, god of warfare. So what that means, and it's interesting, is that I think for me, when I decided to dedicate myself to Tyr, I've been put through situations that involve justice, and I always come out on top. But it's essential that I don't lie when regards to those things, and that I am upright and honest, and I don't back down when I'm challenged on that stuff. So for me, that's how I worship Tyr. Honesty, good works, and I remember that this is my number one tool. This is how I make my craft, other than my eyes. Kind of scary to have one of them not working right. But without this tool, I would have great difficulty making my craft, making my art. So I remember that it's this connection to my actions and what I say and do that allows me to do what I say and follow through and rise to an occasion or whatnot. And for me, that is Tyr. When people say, like, how many, do you guys worship all the gods? No. How do you pick a god? Look, it's been my experience that they pick you. You don't pick them. Odin, I've talked to. Odin, I've seen. I can talk about that another day, but I have seen this. I've seen Odin manifest. I've seen the elements of Odin. I've seen the elements of Freya. They manifest differently. There are certain gods that I don't fucking talk to. Like, not that I have anything against them, but you just can't worship them all. I mean, I suppose you could try. And no one ever did. We didn't worship all of the gods. That's a common misconception. You probably pick 2 or 3. That could be, Freya. That could be Heimdall. That could be, we go through a list, that could be Frigg. It could be the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, Mary, whatever. There's a tripartite connection to European spirituality that predates the introduction of Roman Christianity. And it's something that, as polytheists, we should probably be paying attention to, why it is that tripartite gods come into this situation over and over again. It's not about being Norse or Scandinavian. I have that genetic component, but it's not about that. It's about a conversation with energies that connect to your ancestors, that go back to the beginning. And I've said, it's really more important that you talk to your ancestors than talking to the gods. Not everyone gets an answer either. Some people, I've been talking to the gods for years. They don't say shit to me. What are your ancestors saying? It's so much more important to talk to your ancestors as a heathen, as an animist. Ancestors, energies in the earth, energies in animals, energies in patterns are far more relevant than facial makeup, tattoos, I said it, hairstyle, especially ones that have no connection to these traditions. You can believe what you want. Binding your hair in dreadlocks is beautiful. I have had them twice in my life. I regretted having to get rid of them this past January. It really broke my heart. But that is an energy collector. That is not something that was done by any group in Europe that I know of, except for maybe the Celts and people near the Indus Valley. I don't know of any other group who did that, okay? Doesn't mean that it's one group or another's possessions. I just think that if we're being honest, conversations with our ancestors, not face paint. Conversations with our ancestors, not virtue signaling, will do us well. Tyr doesn't demand much of me except honesty, uprightness, and standing toe to toe with the enemy when I am asked to do so and not backing down. That should never be confused with looking for a fight, looking for conflict, or, because I pray to Tyr, I am on the right of the gods. No. I am accountable for what I do in front of the eyes of Tyr and all of the gods. Well, I figured I'd take a minute and share that. Hopefully going to be doing some painting videos now that I'm set up, because I got a lot of commissions to work on. I've got a lot of stuff in the queue, so to speak. And I figured I'd do these occasional little bits and share some thoughts on this stuff. And that's pretty much what you're going to see on this page. Thank you for taking the time to check it out. I hope you guys are doing well and have a lovely Thursday.